Let's say you're an HR professional. You've got a manager that notices a candidate using a cane, has a speech pattern that might indicate a condition, or mentions taking medical leave at their last job. The manager asks, do you have any health conditions we should know about? Or will you need any accommodations? Or how many sick days did you use at your last job? So listen, those all feel like fair questions that a responsible manager might want to ask because they're trying to get ahead of a potential issue. They want to know, can this person do the job? Are they going to be there reliably? Are they going to have good attendance, right? Those are all things that a manager should generally be looking for when they're interviewing somebody. The problem is here, we're talking about somebody's fitness for the job or availability as it relates to like a medical condition that they have, whatever, sick time off that they're having, maybe taking care of kids who are sick at home, whatever the situation may be. The thing with that is that medical conditions often roll over into disability territory, right? Which is a protected legal status at law. So what these laws generally say, you can't discriminate against somebody because they have a disability, but they get a lot deeper than that because they also understand that discrimination is, like a super subtle thing. Most people don't do it, expressly. They don't come out and say, I don't feel like hiring you because you've got this condition, right? So they recognize that some employers, some managers will try to get ahead of this issue in the early interview. The idea being, if I know this person can't do the job, let's just cut to the chase, right? And I'll just cut them there as not a great fit because whatever it is. And that ends up resulting in systematic discrimination against people with disabilities. And so what the law says is prior to having made a conditional job offer to an employee, you cannot ask about disability related questions, right? Because what the law wants to see happen is the law wants to see that you have determined that this person is actually qualified for the role, a good fit for the team, all that sort of stuff, and their disability should not get in the way of doing that. And only after you've made that conditional offer can you make these questions about disability related. And really, it ultimately boils down to whether or not they can perform the essential functions of their job, which is legalese for can they actually do their job with or without a reasonable accommodation, which is legalese for how can we help you get through this condition so that you can actually do the job. It doesn't require you to bend over backwards and 50 ways sideways to make it happen, but if there is some sort of change to the workplace that you can make or some purchase, whatever, that's really not all that crazy in the grand scheme of things, the law requires you to make that accommodation of that employee so that you have a person who otherwise would have a barrier to employment because of their disability can actually get out into the workforce and be a productive member of society. Comment interview below and I'll send you the complete breakdown of all 5 illegal interview questions.